Hey everybody, welcome back. I hope y'all are having a great day today. So we're going to be doing a wear test today on the new Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Natural Matte Tinted Moisturizer. So this is supposed to be a fusion of makeup and skincare. It's oil free. It helps to absorb excess shine and control oil during the day. It has a sheer to light coverage and it has a velvety natural matte finish. So I'm really interested in this because it's a skin tint or like a tinted moisturizer, but it has a matte finish, so it's like more geared toward oily skin, and it has SPF 30 in it. So per the usual, we'll try it out, we'll see what my first impression is, and then we're going to do an 8-hour wear test, and I'll let y'all know if I think y'all should pick this up if you have oily skin like me. So let's jump right into it. So I got mine from Sephora. They retail for $37 and they come in 20 shades, which I think is a nice amount of shades for like a tinted moisturizer or a skin tint product. I have the shade Terra, which is, it's 8.5 Terra, and it's for medium deep rich warm skin with a golden hue. So just in case you're new, I have a pink undertone, so that's what I always look for, and if I can't find pink then I will go for golden. So that's why I got this shade. So let's start off with a quick hand swatch. Okay, so this is the shade 8.5 Terra. The first thing I'm noticing, is kind of hard to get like a clean swatch with this, but the first thing I'm noticing with the swatch, this is supposed to be oil free, so I'm not sure like what all of the ingredients are, but this feels kind of like oily or greasy maybe, so I'm curious to see how it's going to feel on my face. So let's jump right into applying it and see what we think. Okay, I just wanted to wipe the swatch off so it doesn't get all over the place. So this does not have a pump. It has like a little squeezy tube. So I'm going to squeeze out what I think is the equivalent of like a half a pump of product. Now remember, this is only supposed to give us sheer to light coverage anyway. Let me see what they say about how to apply it, because usually with these types of products you can apply with your finger if you like. I just don't like using my finger, but let me see what they say here. Yeah, it says you can apply it with a brush or with your fingertips. I'm gonna go in with my usual Morphe E63 brush. So remember, we're not expecting a whole lot of coverage with this. Because I have oily skin, what we're looking for is mainly the finish of it. It's supposed to give us a sheer to light matte finish. So I'm thinking it should kind of look like I've maybe put like a finishing powder or a setting powder on my face. Maybe a little bit more coverage than a powder, but you know, we should get like a nice soft matte finish, or they say velvety matte. So far the shade is really nice. Again, I'm Terra 8.5. This has a golden undertone to it, and it does give a matte finish. I don't think I'm crazy about how it's blending out. I was able to blend it out and I think it looks okay, but I feel like you do have to kind of work a little fast with this. And just my first impression, it's not making my skin look as I guess flawless as some of the other complexion products that I have tried as of late. But let me go in with the other side, and then I'm going to go back and see if we can build it up. Sometimes when you put on that second layer, that gives you a bit more of a flawless look. So it's not bad so far, but unfortunately I feel like I can already tell that this isn't going to be like one of my favorite complexion products that I've tried as of late. Perhaps it's the brush. I like to kind of stick with the same application tool when I'm testing out complexion products, because this is just my tool of choice. So I'm thinking this might maybe apply a little bit better with a damp sponge. I mean, it actually looks okay now that it's blended out. Like going back to this side over here. So over here, just on the cheek, I didn't put any product up here yet. Just on the cheek, this has been sitting for like a minute or two. And then over here, it's like freshly applied. And I do feel like as this is kind of like settling in, it is looking a little bit better. So it looks nice. It looks okay. It's just that you kind of have to work with it a little bit more than I would like. I'm going to put a little bit more up here. I typically don't put a whole lot of product up here, but Again, it's only supposed to give us a light coverage, so I just didn't pick up quite enough to cover my entire face. It's definitely giving matte, which I think I said that already, but looking at my forehead, I do feel like it instantly covered up some of the shine. Like, it's not like completely matte, but it's definitely like a softer type of matte finish. Okay, so this is about like one layer of the product all over the face. Let me know what you think. It looks okay. I'm not like blown away or anything by it so far. I did forget to mention that I just have my sunscreen on, like my moisturizer and my sunscreen. I don't like testing out complexion products for the first time with a primer, so I'm not wearing any type of primer. So this is what it looks like just over my my skincare. So definitely a lighter coverage. I would say, I wouldn't say sheer though. I feel like I am getting some coverage. Like, it's definitely giving me a light coverage, but I can already tell even before I go on with the second layer, you're really not going to be able to build it up too much. But let's see if we can get any more coverage than this. So I'm going to go in with like another half a pump. Should I try a different brush? I don't think that's going to make a difference, but I'm going to try another brush. This is the Foundation 101 brush from It Cosmetics. This brush head is just a little bit more dense than the brush I was just using. So let me see if we get better luck out of this. And then if not, I will maybe try a damp sponge on the other side. I really don't want to use a sponge though, because we already have like a light coverage, so the sponge will make the coverage even lighter. I do feel like this brush, so I don't know necessarily if it's the brush or just the fact that it's like the second layer going on, but I do feel like it looks a little bit better. It blended out a little bit better on the second layer. But again, I'm not wowed by it, but it doesn't look bad. I probably won't even stretch this out for a full 8 hours because I just can already tell that it's not going to be like a go-to for me. Let me go on the other side. Ooh, that's a little bit more than I meant to put on, so I may have to go back to the other side and just add a little bit more product. It has kind of like a moussey texture to it. If you've ever tried the Maybelline, there was a Maybelline like skin tint and it had like a really moussey texture to it and it came in like a pink tube. That's kind of like what it's reminding me of. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll see if I can pop up a picture on the screen. Okay, yeah, so I do feel like the second layer blends out a little bit better and it is giving me a little bit more of a more polished look, I'll say. But I do just feel like you have to kind of maybe work with this a little bit more to get it to look this polished, like just compared to some other products that I've tried lately. It's definitely giving like a soft matte finish though. So for those of you who do have oily skin and you don't like a lot of coverage, you might like this. So let me know what you think. I'm going to quickly put my concealer on. We'll see what it looks like after it's been sitting for a couple of minutes. My intent was not to set this with a powder because it already has its own like mattified type of finish, but we'll see what it looks like after a few minutes and then I'll decide if we want to go on top of it with the powder just to see what it looks like. Okay, so the foundation or the skin tint has been sitting for about 5 minutes while I put my concealer on, and I also set my under eye area. Unfortunately, I did blend out just a little bit more like right here before I turned on the camera, but what I'm not able to show you is like right up in here where I blended out a little bit more. I felt like the foundation got like really textured and kind of patchy like right up in here, and then when I took my brush and just like pounced over it a little bit, that did kind of soften it back out and made it look a little bit better. But on both sides of the face, like where I have like the pores and like the smile line area, it's just looking a bit textured and a bit patchy to me. So not my favorite so far. I already know that it's not going to be necessary for me to wear test this all day because I already have like some final thoughts about it, but I am still going to wear it for a few hours, like just to see if anything changes. But I'm not going to put powder on because it is definitely, like we said earlier, it's definitely like a softer, like matte type of finish. And I guess, like, just to be fair, like usually with liquid matte foundations, I typically do not set them with powder, at least the first time that I'm testing them out for a wear test. So I think I'm going to stick with that and not set it with a powder. So I just wanted you all to see like what the foundation looks like, you know, after sitting for a few minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of my makeup, and then we will do a little wear test for today. Okay, so here is my makeup for today. I did have a little bit of an issue with blending out my my blush on top of this, which that typically doesn't happen. So this is the blush that I'm wearing today. It's the e.l.f. blush palette. And with all of the other products that I use, I usually just stick to like all of the same stuff when I'm testing out a foundation. So I have on this color here, and today it just kind of didn't go on as smoothly as it did. So I'm assuming that's unfortunately the tinted moisturizer. So I really didn't have any issues with my bronzer. I use my Stay bronzer, but for the blush, it was just not going on quite as smoothly as it usually does over other things. So unfortunately, my first impression of this is that I'm not impressed. I highly doubt that I'm going to pick this up again, but I am still going to wear test it for a few hours just to see what it looks like, just in case that might help you all if you're interested in this. So let's get started with the wear test. I'm not sure how long I'm going to go for today, but I'm thinking maybe like 4 or so hours. So it's a little before 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'll be back a little bit later on, and then we will wrap things up. Okay, it is a little after 4:30 in the afternoon. So we did about 3 hours of wear so far. So I am going to end the wear test now, but I wanted you all to see what my face looks like after only wearing it for a few hours. So this tinted moisturizer, it has me stumped a little bit because when I initially applied it, I thought that it didn't apply all that great. Like I was having issues with getting it onto the skin and getting it to blend out. I thought that it didn't look the best like up close. It looked okay from far away, but up close I wasn't too crazy about how it was laying on the skin. However, after having it on for a few hours, I do think that it wore better with time. I think that my face looks a lot better now than it did 3 hours ago. The only thing that I'm seeing with this being a matte finish is that I am very slightly oily in my T-zone, but like slightly, to the point where I wouldn't even bother like refreshing this. But me getting oily, I think, is the main thing that's helping the tinted moisturizer to look better now, because it's kind of like the formula of it is like warming up to my skin, and my natural oils are helping to like smooth out the texture of this. I think that's what's happening. So I would say like overall for oily skin, although I think the makeup looks better with time, I don't think that I would recommend this for oily skin, mainly because you do have to wait for it to look like this. So I would love it if I put my makeup on and it looks good and it only gets better during the day. But for this one, it didn't look good when I initially applied it. So you have to apply it and then kind of wait around for it to look, you know, like this. So that's the main reason why I would not recommend this. Now, if you have oily skin and you're still thinking about trying it out for yourself, if you like to wear foundation primer, I definitely would recommend more of like a hydrating primer maybe with this. Like definitely don't go with something that's matte or maybe something that's tacky, because I feel like with the texture of this, it's going to kind of grip too much to that type of surface. And with that being said, if you have dry skin, I definitely would stay away from this, because I feel like it's just going to cling to dry patches. So I don't think that I would recommend this for any skin type, but you know, mainly for oily skin, I don't think that I would recommend this. I just feel like it takes too much work to get this to look nice on the skin. And like I said, you have to wait for it. You have to sit around and let it kind of like warm up to the skin. Whereas there's a bunch of other products out there that look good on application, and even though you may have to freshen up during the day, they stay looking good during the day. So those are my final thoughts on this new Bare Minerals Matte Tinted Moisturizer. So if you like today's video, let me know by giving me a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel before you head out, and I'll see y'all back here for my next one. Until then, take care. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.